me, Jessica Valgarabay. I am a sourcer at Google. I also am a dog mom.
But my name is Shannon Whittington, and I am a clinical nurse educator.
Got a calculator.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
Your strategy.
Yes. Hello. Welcome.
What up?
Love it.
I am a man of faith. I am a motivator. I am the.
I am Brian Witcher. I am the director in coaching development.
Yes. There you go.
I don't know, but might be one of the old guys.
Was subtle. Oh my gosh. I was hoping that we were just going to get into a game.
There's the intros, but you couldn't do it.
Kevin, would you mind doing a little intro for yourself?
Why don't you go throw it at her?
Yes.
It's vibrant and bright. But my name is Carmen Drummond, and here is my...
I am Mike. Yeah. Really loud. So Val, Jessica.
Yes. Hey, who are you?
Well, currently residing in Tucson, Arizona. That's okay. I've been doing Pinterest marketing for 5 years.
Yes, y'all.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Career Hustle and Flow, episode 11. We have a very special guest. Can you all hear me? Is there an echo? No?
No.
The comments are blowing. Oh my goodness. I think it's because we have a LinkedIn celebrity on the LinkedIn
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Let me see who's in the comments. Before I do that, let me get my mic really quick and introduce myself. We were on a bit of a couple of weeks hiatus because Val and I have started new career journeys together, which is kind of mind-blowing to me because it all kind of started, our friendship, our partnership, all started in the club. No, not that club in Vegas, but the club in Clubhouse.
Yeah.
That's my mic right here. I am June Colaroso, career strategist and tech recruiter. I'm going to pass the mic to my lady on my right.
Hey, can you hear me? I just want to make sure. Okay. Can you hear?
Yes.
All right, cool. I wasn't, we've had a little bit of technical difficulties in the past, but tonight I think it's all good. Can't believe it is episode 11. Hey, everyone. Valerie Mickey here. Hey, Lydia. Thanks for joining us. I cannot wait to start talking to our amazing guests, but just so you know, my name is Valerie Mickey. I'm a content writer. Hey, Sherry, it's so good for you to drop by. And June, what's going on with you?
Ooh, with me. Ooh, yeah. With us. Let me put my fancy little tag up here, updates here. So we wanted to share some updates. As you know, we are missing a very special co-host of ours, Ms. Jessica Williams, job snatcher, resume finesser. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today because she's also, in addition to being a full-time badass entrepreneur, she's also a full-time basketball coach. So shout out to you, Jessica. So some updates for me. As you know, I started a new role and I'm super excited to take you all on this journey with me. And I have a big vision of Career Hustle and Flow as far as taking this to the next phase as we go into and head into 2022. We are definitely going to keep up with the lives depending on our availability and schedules because we are both full-time employees and we are managing the side hustle here. I loved your post, by the way, Val, about the hustle life, right? But I'm so excited to partner with my right-hand woman, Ms. Val here, taking this experience of Career Hustle and Flow to a potential podcast, to a community, to a newsletter. So stay tuned. Do you want to share any updates? I hear someone knocking in my door, so I'm going to mute myself.
Nice. You have a little visitor. Well, for me, as June shared with you guys, and I shared it on my LinkedIn post that I recently started a new job, a full-time job as a content writer for an online directory. And it's been really interesting. I've shared with you guys my journey from a career pivot. I used to be a retail buyer in the fashion industry, and I've made a complete career change as a writer. And so I'm just trying to acclimate and just trying to figure things out while still having my clients, while still having my blog. So I am just so excited to continue to do special projects like this, because I can't just rely on my job to fulfill me. I have to have special projects like this to light me up. And this does.
Yes, and that's so crazy because our stories are aligned. We both experienced COVID layoffs. Miss Valerie Mecki here is the queen of career pivots, and I just want to congratulate you for making that successful pivot from being a retail buyer to a content writer, and still managing to still build your own little honeypot as far as your side hustle. Together with me. So super excited. Ooh, I see Harlini in the comments. We have everyone here. Jackie, Elizabeth, hi. Sherry, hello, Jennifer. Okay, you all are here for a special man.
Yeah.
That you've all been waiting for. And hopefully he has his mic ready. Let me get him ready. Mr. Jmall Marshall. Hold on. Let me throw the mic to him.
Yeah.
Whoa. Turn my mic up.
Yes.
Y'all are so crazy, man. Let me put this mic down and just talk. What's up, everybody? Man, the whole Discord family is here. It's so good to see. One, to be on with both you, June, and Val. Sherry's here. Enrique's here. Teresa, Jackie, Andrew, Steve's here. Harlini's here. Elizabeth. And Andrea's here. What up? Oh my goodness, man. It's a ton of folks here.
This is a major party. I love it. You bring the crowd.
Yeah, and we had people in the VIP line waiting for us to go live, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I never had that before. And I'm like, Jmall, it's because it's you. But
I think Robert Berry might still be in the house too, man.
Oh, there he
is. There he be.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Okay, I mean, we all know you, but for people like, for example, Lydia, this is her first LinkedIn Live, and I just want to give a shout out to Miss Lydia here because I found her on TikTok and I encouraged her to start sharing her story on LinkedIn, and she did the damn thing, and I love it when people take action. And this is her first time for LinkedIn Live. So Lydia doesn't know you. So for everyone that doesn't know you, do you want to do a quick intro?
So quick intro. Hi, Lydia. Awesome. Thanks for jumping in here. So I'm a podcast mentor, certified counselor, and my full-time gig is I'm a global lead for an anti-human trafficking agency. That is what I do. And my journey is one, it wasn't a pivot. It wasn't a COVID layoff. It was a COVID wake up and start doing what you were born to do. And I do video blogging. I love video blogging. I started posting that content, and we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. And that is how doors began to open up. I took a bet on myself, and other people were willing to bet on me in that process. So it was pretty crazy.
Love it.
So amazing. Wow. So Jmall, you know how we start the show is we always love to ask our guests one question just to kick off the show. If you can share with us, what's that one song that gets you so hyped up, whether it's for going on your podcast or getting on a show, what song would that be?
Oh man, it's Andy Mineo. I don't know how many people may know who that is, but it's a song called Coming In Hot. You probably, if you're on Instagram, you probably hear it on pretty much every video.
Every reel.
And I just like, yo, let's get into it. Let's go. Let's bring the fire. Don't hold back. Boss up. So
yeah.
Boss up.
I'm fire right now.
Love it. Hey, another first timer here. Hey, Mai. She's a new connection of mine. Thank you for being here. Oh my God, goodness. I'm so excited. Okay, so let's get into it. Hashtag let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
So on this show, we like to touch on a few things. Your career, you touched on it briefly, your hustle, your side hustle. So what you said that 2020 was like a wake-up call for you, right? So what really inspired you to start doing your thing here on LinkedIn and start actually utilizing your voice to empower people by coaching them, by being there for them, just kind of guiding them and finding voice?
I would say this, and I'm sure you probably heard this before, but that part of the side hustle, I wasn't looking for it. It found me. I loved video blogging, and I know you hear a lot about content creation. I know there's 2 first-timers here and a lot of people here who have been creating content for a while. I'm looking at Robert, who's an amazing content creator, Andrea. For me, I'd started in this phone right here, just video blogging. And I know a lot of people here are active on Instagram where you just see pictures, where Instagram was just pictures before it became video. And I was like, okay, that's nice, but that's kind of stupid. So you were at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Why? Why do I care that you were there? So everywhere I went and I traveled, I did a short video. And none of these are on social media. They're all in like Google Video, just buried somewhere. Mm-hmm. But a friend of mine said, you know, you're pretty good at like just telling a story. You're pretty good on camera. And I didn't even think anything of it. And so part of my journey was I would be out praying and meditating in the mornings, taking some walks. And I just would whip my camera out. I'd have a series of thoughts that were just running through my head, and I would kind of share a concept. And I said, well, let me post this on LinkedIn. Again, I knew nothing about LinkedIn. I didn't know about long videos, short videos, what to say, what not to say. I just kind of started posting. I thought LinkedIn was a place you put your resume and that's it. You don't need to connect with nobody. You don't need to do anything. And this guy by the name of Billy Samoa Salibi, he saw a video of mine. And also I commented on a video of his about perfectionism. And he said, man, if you want to, you can be the next Mike Jordan of this platform. Again, I wasn't thinking like that. And so he taught me just a little bit about when to post, what's the best time to do this. And of course I rebelled because y'all know I like to do my own thing, but it really got me started with how to connecting with other people. And I even knew before I got with him, comment on other people's stuff. I saw things that mattered to me, and LinkedIn started shifting from that just a place to drop your resume, where it was a community. And so that's kind of how my journey found me. Was I actually just started posting content that I believed in. I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I knew what I was saying, but I didn't know what I was doing. And as far as the counseling went, it was weird. The more I posted content, people started DMing me, because what was under my title was global lead. And so he said, okay, I see global lead, flesh that out for me. And of course, global lead and anti-human trafficking means I manage other HR managers. But he was like, okay, that's what you do. Tell me who you are. And I was like, oh. He said, tell the people who you are. And when I told the people who I was, I'm just going to be real and transparent with everybody who's watching. I was actually afraid to tell people who I was, because when my dad passed, a lot of that died with me. When he died, he was my best friend. It really knocked the wind out of me. And so I was willing to hide out in corporate and just hide out with doing spreadsheets and doing more administrative things, because I associated kind of that free spirit, that adventure, that mentor, that counselor, that public speaker. I was doing all those things when he passed away. And somehow, I don't know how grief works, but I made that correlation. I was like, I'm not revisiting that. And Billy saying that kind of reawoke that in me. And so I began to tell people who I was. And all of a sudden somebody said, so is this what you do? And obviously I'm still certified. I have to, earn my paper. I said, I'd like to work with you. And I don't know if you ever heard of Alex B. Sheridan. I'm sure you have, but he always says you never forget the first client. Yes. That first person that's just willing to take a chance on you. And that was like when the domino effect came, was when that person was willing to take a chance. And so I literally legit put together 6 to 12 weeks. It's like, this is what we're going to do. I did a 30 minutes to an hour consultation with them. And, most of counseling is listening. So you can listen for a pain point, and also then speaking back, and then giving assignments that are tailor-made to that person. I don't believe so much in the whole online automated thing. I think that's a great way to take people's money and run with it and become an influencer. But you can really have an impact and leave a ripple effect if you touch that person where they are. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yeah. Did it for you, Val? I love that.
I'm just like listening to him. Like you are such an incredible storyteller. So many things have come through my mind when you were talking and speaking about your journey. I think it's really cool that you now have all these videos for documentation of your journey. Have you ever had a chance to look back at it?
It's weird. Like one day, because it was like I was actually doing like some inventory, because I actually need to do some scraping. Because I'm actually developing an outbound strategy right now. And I was like, I saw some changes in weight for sure.
We were just talking about the COVID. I was like, yeah, I'm embracing it.
Yeah, I saw some up and downs in weight and different little hairstyles. I was like, oh, you were wearing the juices and berries back then. That's when the maroon hoodie came into play. I saw different things like that. But to be on a serious note, I did look back at the first video, and I love that I could use that kind of the P word pilot. It's like the first video is nothing like the videos now. And the first video, there was a little stuttering. There was a little kind of taking too long to get to the point. But it's like, that's all I knew to do. And I was okay with that. And the funny thing about even doing that, where the podcast comes in, I wasn't a person who had like this brand. It was just, I was commenting on other people's stuff, and somebody saw my content and they said, hey, we want you to come on our podcast, which was really strange. I was like, you want to interview me for what? And so when it was a Safety Justice League, they're some of the best in the business. and it was the female. It was a 4-panel interview. She asked me, she said, "Are you a podcast host?" I said, "No, that's not really my thing." She said, "You should be. You're a natural." And I was like, "Oh." So long story short, the very Apple computer I'm sitting on right now that I podcast from, the very mic, the very web space, all of that got sponsored in a matter of 2 months. Wasn't asking for any of it. There was just people who saw this stuff and said, "Look, I'm willing to bet on you. If you want to bet on you, I really want to get your voice out there. Let's do this." So again, I wasn't looking for it. It found me.
See, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. That's your natural gift and talents, because you weren't even focused on it. You didn't have an intention. You maybe shared a little bit, and all of a sudden that's that one person that can see it and hear it and pulled you from that. And I think a lot of people need that sometimes. Like, I don't know about June. I don't know about your past of mentors, but sometimes you need someone to say, "Hey, there's something about you."
Yeah, I agree. Totally. Sometimes you can't see it. It's hard to look yourself in the mirror. But like you said, Jmall, like you weren't looking for it. It just kind of came to you. You were listening to your intuition. You were noticing people reaching out to you. You were noticing that podcast hosts were asking you, "Do you have a podcast? You should have a podcast," right? So these are all like different signals that you started kind of seeing because all of the actions that you're taking. So, and we're talking about listen to your intuition, then act, right? So what are your some tips there where people are like, I want to do something. I want to do something outside, outside of my 9 to 5. I don't know where to start, right? I don't know what kind of business I want to do, what kind of passion project, side hustle. So if you could kind of like share, like, what are your, like, maybe like 3 tips that you would suggest for the community?
I'm looking at the community here, which is like all these amazing people who are brilliant. So it's like, it's kind of difficult to preach to the choir, but for those who are going to watch and who are going to come in or who are coming in late on the playback, what is the thing that annoys you the most? And I know that sounds weird. The thing that annoys you the most is the problem you were created to solve. And I would say, look for that. What is that itch that if you don't scratch it, like, you just can't sleep at night? That thing when you wake up in the morning, that's what you're thinking about. That is the thing that's going to be your side hustle. I came from, since 2013, being a certified counselor, I knew that I was meant to touch people. I knew that I was meant to work one-on-one or facilitate in a group with people. Now a part of that died, and going back to what Val said with her question, it took someone else to call that and recall that up and out of me, but that was the itch that I had to scratch. I knew that I was meant to also speak publicly to the masses. And that part died. I really wanted to go into hiding because grief can do that to you. So think about that itch that you were meant to scratch. The very thing I think of, that's funny, it's a comment from Enrique. It's like, to me, I deem him the best in the business when it comes to cybersecurity, to protect someone's digital well-being, especially we live in this digital age. He is scratching that itch. He's also an amazing husband and father. But what is the thing that you feel like, if I was born to do this, so that would be my number 1 tip. The very thing that annoys you the most is a problem you're created to solve. Number 2, where is that space where you feel like you're in a place of flow, where you're not working? Each of us do have full-time gigs, and we're building that side hustle. I know we're going to talk about that. Where is that just state of flow where, like, you could do it for hours and you don't even think twice about it? Whereas, how you get into that position where you're doing that work and it's just excruciating. And even though, of course, everybody knows that whether you're an entrepreneur, or I like to call it the wantrepreneur, the 10% who's building on the side, you would just do it for hours and hours, and someone has to come and pry you from your computer or pry you from whatever that thing is. That's the thing you want to develop. And number 3, I would say definitely the tip would be find an accountability partner to hold your feet to the fire, but also encourage you when you're not feeling it. Because even when you get in that state of flow, there's going to be a lot of closed doors or doors that you think were meant to be open to you. And it's something I know that we all do have different things we jam with, whether it's faith or whether it's whatever you believe, but there's things that God is protecting you from. And sometimes you need that extra voice or the extra set of eyes to watch your back and to also push you when you feel like, I'm not really wanting to move forward. I'm not really wanting to advance. Because we have those days, nothing's ideal in this world. So those are my 3 tips.
Love it.
Would you mind sharing with us who your accountability partner is, or how did you find them? I feel like sometimes you're meant to be connected to the accountability partner. So you don't have to specifically call them out, but how did you meet this person, or why did you pick them?
Or how did you build your community? That was something that we want to talk about too, right? Is how did you find your people, your accountability partners, your community here on LinkedIn, Discord, wherever.
Good question from both. Because I like Val said, who was that person? How'd you meet them?
Yes.
You said partners, because it's usually not just one person. There's going to be different levels of transparency with different people and different people that hit different angles. There's going to be that person where you kind of get a little sappy and you feel like you need that greasy grace. They're going to give it to you. It's going to be that person that's going to snatch your wig no matter what and just push you.
Oh, wait. Did you say wig? Did you say wig?
That's her for me. She will like call me out.
Let me snatch
you know, I have a selection of wigs. I was just waiting for the moment to bring this.
Oh,
these wigs right here, you guys, these are your imposter syndromes. These are your fears, and we're here to snatch them away. Snatch them.
She got props, y'all.
I'm dead.
Y'all. Okay, keep going.
Literally.
Okay, sorry.
Oh man.
That's how we roll. We like to pull out remote controls for microphones. We like to pull out some wigs. You just don't know. Keep tuning in, everyone. Okay.
This is what happens at Hustle and Flow, y'all.
So it says snatch that wig.
Snatching them right up. So the way I found these people was somebody who I knew was not, find someone who's not, I don't want to say afraid of you, but that's lack of better rhetoric. Not afraid to get in your face, and someone who's also cares about you enough to check in on you. And I would even say someone who cares about, and we'll talk about this, your boundaries. I have an accountability partner that says, hey, Jmall, have you taken your vacation time? Have you taken time off? Are you taking time offline? And I know you guys saw over the summer a series of posts where I was just like, you know what? I'm backing off right now. We need accountability for that. So I saw different people, whether it's the business world, whether it's the entrepreneurs, whether it was somebody at church, you know, who I have close fellowship with, you know, different people serve different purposes in my life. And oh, Sherry.
I love Sherry. I need to meet Sherry. We need to have you on the show soon. I don't know when, but it's going to happen.
I'll have to talk to you about that later. But yes. We would love to have her come on the show. Now, what you're saying, Jmall, is exactly what I wrote about in one of my articles. Is I call it an accountability entourage, where you have specific people in your life that holds you to different parts. And then also make sure to also have someone that you aspire to too. I think it's really important to have someone who's like, that's going to be me in 10 years. I think that's a part that could help build that success.
People in different like chapters and phases, right? I say this all the time. Like, it takes a village to raise to raise your children. It takes a village to start a business, start something that scares the crap out of you, right? You need to have that supportive community that people that are going to tell you directly what you need to do to kind of snap you out of your imposter syndrome, people that are going to be challenging you, people that are going to be pushing you outside of your comfort zone, right?
Everything y'all was saying, I'm thinking about the different people that are in my life that have pushed me, and even in the last 2 years that have pushed me out of my comfort zone. Because I'm just going to be honest, when it comes to even being that entrepreneur, doing a podcast, having a web space, and newly having an LLC. So yes, I am an LLC now. I think about these things. And so like running a business, writing off stuff, it's like, it's crazy to having that tribe to get you thinking that way. And I admit sometimes, I've been an employee. I worked since I was 13, but like as far as a professional employee, I started at the Department of Justice when I was 18. And so that type of thinking is inculcated into my mindset. So you don't just read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and shift into being an entrepreneur. You actually need people speaking into that thing, touching certain pain points, calling you out, and then also giving you the grace to actually fall, to fail, and also cheering you on when you succeed and being there when you don't succeed.
Would you say that like the majority of the people that are in your inner circle, that your accountability partners, did you find them on LinkedIn, or was it like in various places, like in walks of life, like LinkedIn, or my dog is barking? But yeah, where did you find your accountability partners?
I love the fact that we got them live soundtracks. We keep it live on here.
Live and real, okay? props and everything, and that's all for free.
I want to say thanks, Eugene, first, and I love what Robert Berry's saying about everybody needs a tribe that helps them thrive. That's a mic drop moment for him.
Yes.
Teresa, you have an entourage in Discord. She really does. Don't let her fool you. But to answer your question, it was at different stages of my life. You know, like when I first became a professional, the chief of staff was the one that brought me on. I'm going to tell you a little story. I wanted to work at Best Buy so bad. I wanted to work in computers. I wanted to throw that blue shirt on and them khakis, and I thought I was going to be that dude. And I actually gave a speech about my pastor at that time. And so she actually pulled me, her and her husband, aside, and she said, well, what are you doing right now? I was just going to college. She said, let me get your transcript. She said, she was a woman from the South. She said, you know, you seem really bright, and I see more than Best Buy in your future. So I'm going to take your resume and head to HR. And next thing you know, I was in this panel view with all these big wigs. I mean, GS15s. I had cornrows. They're looking at me like, it's this dude. So I know she pulled some strings, but like I found out as an 18-year-old very quickly, your network becomes your net worth. And even that, like her name was Linda Wine Smith. She became an accountability partner for me. And just through different stages of my life, obviously people in your family, because, you know, they know your crap, your junk. I love so many times he may still be here. Enrique says, he's my wife, my accountability. Like that's his best friend. That's beautiful, you know. My pastor has been one of my accountability partners because he's also my best friend. Like before he became my pastor, this is my pastor, the Fellowship of Men now. We used to just go out and just chill, just you know, throw back some snacks, man. And so back in 2004, so we're still best friends. So there's that level of transparency there, but he also holds my feet to the fire. And then on LinkedIn, a couple of the people that taught me how to use LinkedIn. And one of them's name is Rob Jollis, 5-time best-selling author. He was the first guest on my podcast. He's another accountability partner that pushes me. I mean, this dude is like regimented. And, you know, I'm real laid back. So I need those types of people in my life to kind of, all right, Jmall, let's get her done. And so Billy Simo is another accountability partner. Like when I see that little alert that comes up on Google, like I got to meet with him or like a strategy meeting, you know, but it pushes me like, you know, have you gotten all your content in? You know, what are you doing with the content? How are you monetizing that? You know, when are we getting that banner done? It's just so many different parts, you know, of the journey and so many different people that serve different purposes. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Sometimes my mama be checking my LinkedIn. So, you know, I don't come on here with no foolishness. She's a woman. What did she say? She be checking my LinkedIn. I'm a grown man. Like, oh, I really love that. She'll comment on stuff. And the funny thing is with all the likes and the comments, it's something about her comments that mean more than anybody's. Because she like if I did 10, 20 posts, she may comment on one of them. But it's like, oh, she saw that. Man, that's cool. So just different people in your family.
I love it. I love it. I'm curious to see your mom's LinkedIn profile now. I won't put her on.
She ain't even active. She get on when she wants to. Maybe once a month. I'll be like, come on. Network.
Oh, I wanted to ask you this too. And then we could talk about the flow. You're like 5 steps ahead of us because the flow is a question that we like to ask you towards the end. But when it comes to like creating content, you know, we talked about this too, like past lives before, but that imposter syndrome that you posted about this too, a video just I think on Monday, like how we constantly compare ourselves, and that kind of just puts us in a analysis paralysis, right? Like we're afraid to put ourselves out there. What is your tips there? Your quick tips there on how to overcome that fear?
This is going to be a tip that people are not going to like. You just got to do it. That very thing that you are most afraid to do is the step that you were born to take. If you don't take it, who will? You know, if not now, when? If not you, who? And it's like that fear of failure, that fear that you will be judged. You know, all of us, as part of even when I work with clients, we all have some type of trauma that causes us to pause and stay in that place of pausing and feel comfortable. And we like to hedge our bets. And then we compare ourselves with folks online. But I just want people to listen, whoever's still on here. You're comparing yourself with a perception. You don't know what took that person, what it took to get them where they are. And you also don't know their background. And you don't know who they are offline. It's like, you know what? If I don't compare myself with somebody, I find my voice. That was one of the ways I found my voice is I didn't get on and look at a whole bunch of content, a bunch of how-tos, just started creating. And so I knew what I sounded like, what I walked like, what I talked like, how I created, how I wrote, instead of taking a bunch of tips. Even though we're giving tips right now, put your own nuances on it. Because I can tell you, I think of like, let's look up like Robert Barry is probably a little taller than me. Like Enrique, I'm a little taller than him, same height. 32 on him would fit different than it would on me because we're different people. One size does not fit all. So that would be one tip. That's a long-winded tip, but just do it. And second tip, when you get on there and you hear all this is the how-to, automatically think in your mind, how can I rebel against that? How can I put my own nuances on these how-tos? You know what I'm saying? Think about like, obviously you guys are both women. Valerie, you're in the fashion. When you go somewhere, it's like, you know what? I actually may take this home and restitch it. This dress is cute, but it's kind of fly, but I can make it actually look better. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how does it fit on you? You know what I'm saying? How do you take that thing and say, I'm about to boss up with this dress, man. Forget the way Donna Karen or whoever designed this. That's not the way I want to wear it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I love that.
I love it. I mean, it's so true. Make it your own. Like, I mean, we're all out here doing our own thing here on LinkedIn. There's tons of coaches, so many coaches on LinkedIn, career coaches, mindset coaches.
People think I am one, and I'm not. People, just so you know, they're like, "Are you a coach?" I'm like, "No, I just hang out with a lot of them." No, I just want to remind people that your personality is your thumbprint in the world. It's only one of a kind, so put it out there for sure. For sure. If you're not putting it out there, then the world is missing out. Like, can I just talk and fangirl out a little bit about your podcast, Jmall? Like, I look forward to your episodes because if you haven't listened to his episodes, what you're seeing right now, it's the real deal. And it's with a one-on-one intimate conversation. Tell me a little bit more about who do you choose to go on? Like, what are you looking for your guests?
Well, my audience, always think about the audience in mind, because it's not just about the guest. And thank you for that compliment. You're too kind, Val. And one, I got to go back to that mic drop, which you said. It's like I'm looking for Thor to come pick that mic up because that was super heavy.
Here it goes.
I look at a person. I study. See you later, Jackie. I love her.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you for coming. I think she's going to a PTA. I think she said that. Yeah, PTA.
Right there.
Look at you.
I study that person for a little while. And I look at not only the highs and lows of their career, but also the whole part of them. Like, that's what Listen to Speak is about, because you think, I'm just going to give y'all a secret to my podcast. I live right in DC. The first thing people ask you when they see you is what? What do you do? Guess what? I don't really care what you do. I care about who you are. When we get into questions about who you are, what you do will come down the line from there. And so I'm looking for guests that are willing to tell me who they are, because that's going to feed our audience. Because I know that our work life, our faith, or either lack thereof, they may be an atheist. I've had atheists on my podcast. Our family life, our culture, these are all things that make us up who we are. Our mental health, our process, both highs and lows. I want to get a holistic view of that person. And so I look for guests like, is this person willing to unearth that and go there? And I find often enough that they are willing to go there and actually give me almost more than I asked for. And I think having a background in counseling, obviously, to be a certified counselor, you need to ask good questions to get good answers. And so I'm always thankful that they're willing to, lack of better rhetoric, spill their guts in a way that provides so much value for the audience and talk just not about the highs, but about the lows and what has made them who they are and also who they're becoming.
Beautiful.
I'm dropping your podcast. I'm actually going to subscribe to it on Spotify. I'm going to put it in the link here in the comments. Y'all, please subscribe to Jmall's podcast. We have to wrap up soon because dinner is ready. Ding, ding, ding.
So as we're wrapping up this show, Career Hustle and Flow, we always like to ask our guests, can you describe to us, what does flow mean to you? Can you describe that? And it could be for work, it could be for your side hustle, whatever that means to you.
Man, I'm probably going to have an unpopular answer. when it comes to flow. As y'all know, I love to rebel.
Wait, can I take a guess?
A common theme here, by the way.
Yeah. Can I take a guess, Jmall?
Go ahead.
Is it eating a cheeseburger?
Yeah. Wait, before you go to the, what is up with the cheeseburger? Like, am I missing an inside joke? Please do share, because this fangirl needs to know.
I love a good burger. And again, I think for those of you health nuts who will probably load the DMs down with, this is the diet plan you need to be on, please call me and I'll sell you my program. You can have a veggie burger. You can have a Boca burger. You can have a burger that is zero trans fat. Whatever burger it is, it's good for your soul. So always tell people, in all my tips, have a burger. And it was awesome to meet with Nick and Enrique a couple weeks ago. I had a burger while I was with them, and it was beautiful. But to answer your question, a state of flow for me is, I would say, being in a good place spiritually, physically, socially, emotionally, and mentally, where it's all connected. And that doesn't mean that there aren't any trials, there aren't any tests. That doesn't mean there isn't anything that's knocking against that. But it's a place that when those tests come, it positions you to have a testimony. When you're in that place, I would call it that high vibration. Obviously, I'm a Christian. And so if everything is connected there, then the rest will fall in place. And so for me, that's what a state of flow is, because that actually inspires and informs the way I create content and informs the way I do business. Am I honorable in the way I do business? Am I honorable in the way I work my full-time job? Am I honorable in the way I interact with my community? Or am I a jerk? Am I dishonest? Am I greedy? So when things are right spiritually, things will be right emotionally, socially, physically, business-wise. So being in a state of flow for me, and I know that when this community, we have different belief systems and different things that we tap into. For me, it is my faith. That's my state of flow.
Love it. It starts within your faith, and I love it. And it kind of trickles into everything: your business, how you show up as a friend, as a son, as a business owner, as an employee.
You one more question. So as we're closing out the year, are you in that state of flow that you're speaking of right now as we're closing out 2021?
That's a good question, Val. Some weeks I am perfectly. Sometimes it's firing on all cylinders. Some weeks I'm not feeling it. And that's when it goes back to those accountability partners like, hey, let me check in on Jmall. And then me taking it as an opportunity. I can either be dishonest and disingenuous and really just fake about it and kind of post a smiley selfie every day, or I can just be like, look, this is where I'm at. And these are the pain points that need to be touched in me. A lot of times you'll hear, especially in the counseling realm and even in the coaching, I'm demanding full transparency of my client. How about you give your client full transparency? What you give is what you get. So.
Yeah, love that. Thank you, Jmall. Thank you so much. Where can people find you? I dropped your link for your podcast, but how can people find you, connect with you?
Easiest way to connect with me, I'm most active here on LinkedIn. Also, if you have the handle, I think I forgot to drop the Instagram handle.
Let me get it right now.
Okay. It's totally spelled the wrong way. It's J Loves to Listen. Something I love to do is listen. Loves is L-U-V-S, not L-O-V-E-S.
There you are. Yeah, I see you. I'm going to drop it right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you back on TikTok.
Yeah, if you want really goofy content and see another side of me, you can connect with, that's the same handle on TikTok. It's J Loves to Listen. But yeah, LinkedIn, Jahmaal Marshall. Also, www.listenandspeak.com is my website. So looking forward to the rest of the year, and definitely looking forward to a strong 2022 and building out business and systems and processes and leaving an impact in there.
Ooh, we have the same theme, my friend. I love it. Thank you so much, Jmall. Thank you, everyone that is tuned in, watching the replay. Thank you, Val, for being here by my side. Really can't wait for the next chapter of Career Hustle and Flow. Everyone, I hope you have a great evening. Take care of yourself and each other and be safe. Any last words from you, Val?
No, just thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.